Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you and tell you how to make clothes straight without ironing. This will be an easy tutorial for de-wrinkling clothes. Let's get right into the video. If you have a piece of clothing and you want to make it nice and straight and de-wrinkled, not wrinkled, but you don't have an iron or an ironing board, this is the video for you. I'll be going over 5 things that you can do to straighten out and de-wrinkle that piece of clothing. And this will pretty much apply to anything that can be de-wrinkled, whether it's a dress shirt or a dress or a pair of shorts or anything. This will apply to it for the most part, okay? Obviously, make sure that you can use these methods on the piece of clothing. Check out the tag. Make sure that you can apply heat to it, for instance, if that's the method that you're choosing, or steam to it, okay? Make sure that the tag shows you, or the article of clothing shows you, that you can do this to the clothing to obviously avoid damaging it, and use your judgment and your professional judgment. Let's get right into the video. Number 1 is hang them nice and straight to dry. When you take the clothing out of the washer and you hang it up, I know you're probably in a rush to get that next load of laundry in, so you probably just throw it on the drying rack. But take a few moments to straighten it out. If you hang your clothing nice and straight to dry, it will likely end up straight and not wrinkled, okay? And even if there are wrinkles, there will be fewer wrinkles than if you just hung it up quickly. Number 2, steam them in the bathroom when you're taking a shower. So when you're taking a shower, okay, even if you have the bathroom fan on and the door open or whatever the case is, okay, I'm assuming that, you're trying to let the steam out in one way or another so your bathroom doesn't end up in a massive amount of steam, okay? If you hang up an article of clothing somewhere in that bathroom, that steam will get into the clothing and it will inevitably de-wrinkle it a bit. What I recommend is when you hang up that clothing in the bathroom, make sure that it's hung up nice and straight so you can get rid of those wrinkles and it will be straight in the long run. Number 3, use a steamer or a steam wand if you have one. If you have a steamer machine, it's a great tool for not busting out the iron and the ironing board every time you want to de-wrinkle something. Okay, a steamer is usually, or sometimes they're also known as a steam wand, not to be confused with the coffee machine steam wand. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a steamer machine or a wand that creates steam for clothing and fabrics, okay? Now, if you have one, they're useful because if you need to de-wrinkle a few articles of clothing, instead of busting out the iron and the ironing board and waiting for it to warm up, a steamer usually only takes a couple of minutes to set up and it quickly gets through the articles of clothing. You can de-wrinkle an article of clothing in probably 30 seconds to a minute with a steamer. So very useful to have, but works in a different way than an iron. They both use heat, but very different types of heat to de-wrinkle clothing. Number 4 is use a hair straightener. Now this is great for things like the collar of a button-down dress shirt because it's hard to get an iron to de-wrinkle a collar properly. So a hair straightener serves as an iron for smaller things like that, or even your sleeves of your dress shirt. You can use a hair straightener for that. But if you, let's say, are in a hotel room, you're traveling, and you have your hair straightener, but you don't have access to an iron and you want to de-wrinkle something, you can actually use your hair straightener similar to how you would use an iron, okay? By using the hair straightener to sort of grip both of the ends of the fabric and move it across to get rid of those wrinkles. So just like you would use an iron, you would use the hair straightener in the same way, okay? And it works in the same way by using heat and pressure to get rid of the wrinkles, okay? Last but not least is number 5, and this is a game changer. This is actually to use a hair dryer. Now a hair dryer is almost like a mixture between a steamer and an iron or hair straightener, okay? Because it uses heat, but it's not direct heat, right? A hair straightener and an iron use direct heat. A steamer uses steam indirectly. A hair dryer uses indirect heat, okay? You're applying heat, but you're not actually touching the clothing. So what I do recommend is that you put your clothing somewhere where it can be laid down nice and flat and try and use the hair dryer to apply heat indirectly to the clothing. That will hopefully de-wrinkle it. Now, you have to kind of experiment with your hair dryer and the distance from the clothing, but kind of experiment with it and see what works for getting rid of the wrinkles on that specific article of clothing. That's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.